Hello and welcome to Community Conversations. I'm KK Conachero. The Fremont Unified School District's Spanish Immersion Program is an alternative educational model designed to provide students with fluency and literacy in both English and Spanish. All students in the Immersion Program receive the same curriculum as all students throughout the district, but are initially taught in Spanish for the most part of the day, and then gradually English is added into it. The goal of the program is to expose students to other cultures and better prepare them to meet the challenges of global society. Fremont Unified currently offers Spanish immersion at Blacow, Vallejo Mill Elementary School, and we are joined today by three fabulous parents who are going to represent their schools. So can we start with you to introduce yourself?
I'm Maya Pandya, and my daughter is a third grader at Vallejo Mill.
Vallejo Mills, okay.
Yeah.
My name is Juan Ledesma, and I have two daughters at Blacow Elementary, 4th and 5th grade.
Okay.
And my name is Yarly Gamboa, and I have three kids at Greener Elementary School, 1st grade, 4th grade, and a 6th grader.
Perfect. And our famous Dr. Jim Morris as our co-host. Thank you very much for being here. Okay, so who can give me a little background for anybody out there watching us who does not know that Fremont Unified offers this particular program, which I think is fabulous? So who wants to start?
Go ahead, Mike.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
So the program is a Spanish dual immersion program, and it started really in this form about 8 years ago.
Okay.
So it's been some form of Spanish language education has been around for over almost 40 years. In 1974, there was a Spanish language program at 6 schools, I think it was.
Okay.
And you know, I think one of the misconceptions that people have about the program is, you know, who is this program for? And a lot of times people think it's for Spanish speakers only.
Yeah.
But as you mentioned, you know, it's really about getting students to be bilingual in Spanish and English. So teaching them so they can meet state levels in both languages.
So this is more intense than just taking a Spanish class, because you're dealing with Spanish pretty much all day long until the end of the day, right?
Correct.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's correct.
Yeah.
So they can really interact and practice the language.
Yeah.
This is awesome. Where were you 40 years ago?
Well, I think the other big advantage is the children they don't learn just conversational language, because there are opportunities for them to, on the playground or you know, interacting with other students, to learn conversational language. But this is really about having students develop the academic language. When we look at other countries throughout the world, there are strong programs in place for students to really be bilingual and biliterate in multiple languages. And this really is, you know, we talk about raising the bar for students. This really is about raising the bar to say kids are capable of so much more, and we know the younger they start, if you have a child who speaks English only, the younger they start to have both the conversational and the academic conversations and learning in the second language, the stronger they are in the long term.
Right. I think this is great. Now, is it only at the 3 schools, or are you planning to move it into other schools, or how does this work?
The program is currently only offered at the 3 schools, and it's really based on parent demand.
Okay.
You know, we know as society is changing, parents are becoming much, much more aware of how essential it is to be able to communicate in multiple languages, to have a job. You know, you look at the globalization and people who work here, but they may have meetings during the day with people on the other side of the world. And having a common language, being able to speak that second language is a huge benefit for students when they go out into the workforce.
So you have a student or the parent from another school that really wants their child in this program, can they take the program, or do they have to wait? Or
correct. You don't have to just live in the attendance area of one of these schools, and you don't have to just live in Fremont.
Really?
On a space available basis, students from outside Fremont, as long as there's space available, can come in on a permit.
And I'm a good example of that. I live in Newark.
So
we applied for inter-district transfer, then we applied for the intra-district transfer, and we've been here since 6 years now.
Great.
Yeah, and it's anyone within Alameda County
Yeah.
Okay.
can transfer into this program if space is available.
Yeah.
But you said a couple of things that I think are really important. Not only is it about being biliterate, bilingual, but there's lots of research that have shown that people who speak second language from an early age are better problem solvers, can be more creative. They've said, you know, clearly there's a additional in language acumen.
Right.
They
But-
can learn a third or fourth language.
Yeah,
too,
they can
so-
pick
A lot
up more
easier.
languages
And I
easier.
think they're better able to think on their feet
Yes.
when they need to, because they always have to translate.
And one thing that Hispanic people that we should think, because I mean we speak Spanish at home, and they can be bilingual, but I mean they know the Spanish as a first language, but they don't know like academically.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
They can learn more,
Right.
and I mean they can translate letters. They
Right.
can have better opportunities in jobs.
Yes.
So it's not just speak Spanish at home, and that's what I decide to put my kids on
Yeah.
on the immersion program, because I know they can speak at home, but they don't speak it right. So
Yes.
that they can learn how to speak it right and write it right.
Yeah.
I think right now one of the biggest challenges we have is getting the word out there. Because I didn't even know this program existed. I only happened to eavesdrop on somebody's conversation and my ears perked up and I'm going, I want that for my kids.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I know that the desire is there,
Mm-hmm.
but we need to know about it.
You're right. It's like one
We
of
need
the
to know
best
about
kept
it.
secrets in our
Exactly.
school district right now.
Yeah.
Now,
So
how young can a child start? Is it kindergarten or really?
Correct.
It's kindergarten, but you know, you talked about what is the interest, where do we want it, what else is there? And you know, pre-K is an option, something that we want to look at.
Okay.
So as early as even pre-K, hopefully.
And we would love to take it to junior high and high school.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Hint, hint.
But it is absolutely true. I mean, all the research tells us the younger students begin to have those experiences and conversations in the second language, the stronger they'll be, because it isn't that old theory, you know, of you have an English brain and a Spanish brain.
Right.
Well,
the
children
same brain.
don't have two brains, and it's really because you're right. When you learn the language later or as an adult, everything that I want to say in Spanish, I have to
Think about it.
I have
first.
to spend time thinking about how to translate.
That happens to me.
Yeah, because the language isn't there. Well, how you have to think
Sometimes-
first. How
You
would
have
I
to
say it
think.
in English, and what are some words kind of
Sometimes
like
it doesn't
that?
make sense. They're like, what? What are you trying to say?
And that's
Oh,
part
I'm
of the learning
sorry. I had to put it backwards.
And that's part of the learning process, that you have to think in two languages.
Yes.
So therefore, it just opens your capacity to think and solve problems a lot quicker, and sometimes better to a certain degree. You know, I'm a firm believer that every kid is a smart kid.
Oh yeah.
You know, and we just need to. They're like a piece of clay. You mold them into what they need to be in you know in our society nowadays.
And this
and-
program will challenge them.
And,
what I was gonna
and I
say.
like that challenge. I like
Yeah.
that
Program
challenge.
is challenging.
And it's not only challenging to the student, but
To
it's
the
challenging
parents.
to the parent
Yeah.
and the teachers to work together so that we can have a successful program. And I think it will be successful if we can all put our energy and efforts into this great program.
Right.
Yeah. And the goal really is, you know, we talk about the Common Core Standards. Well, this is really about Common Core Standards plus. Because
On steroids.
That's right, because the goal obviously is to have the students be proficient or above in English, but it's also to have that facility. And the really nice thing is now the state of California recognizes with the seal of biliteracy on students' high school diploma. Think
Wow.
about the number of job
Really?
applications. Every time you fill out a job application,
Yes.
do you speak, read, and write in a language other than English? It's a standard question.
I
That
think
happened to me when
I think more doors are open when you speak a different
Yes.
language.
when I finished my medical assistant career, then I didn't have no experience at all. When I went to apply, a lot of places they were like, "Oh, you don't have no experience." But it was this doctor that she decided, like, I had another competition. She had 10 years of experience, but when she see my resume, I speak Spanish. She's like, "I'm going with her."
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that right there opened the door for.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So,
But this, I mean, anyone who wants to be in international business, or
Oh yes.
it's just amazing what the doors are open for. Government to high tech to education to anything.
Jobs, everything.
It's amazing. We should do this more. Can you get that done?
That's what we want to see. You know, we love this program.
Yeah.
We are all so excited about it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And like, it
You
really
can't tell,
is-
can you?
Get the word out. We
Yeah.
just want to get the word out and tell
Yeah.
people.
And tell people
Do you
that
know
this-
this amazing thing is here for you?
And the
Free?
And the
gift,
best thing,
right?
it's free. It's
Yeah.
free. I know a
I mean-
parent they're paying to put their
Well,
kid
yeah,
to
yeah.
dual immersion
Yeah.
program.
But it's only the betterment of our children.
Yes.
So how are you acquiring teachers to do this?
Well, we're fortunate because we do have teachers currently who are
Okay.
bilingual. But you're right, it's tough. It's tough because it requires that the teacher have the supplemental authorization to speak in Spanish. And I mean, you really think about it from the perspective of a parent. And I want to talk about that a little bit because we have some parents who say, well, I'm really worried because we have parents whose primary language is Spanish. Oh, I'm really worried about helping my child with homework. How do we respond? How would you as
Oh.
a parent, if I'm an English-speaking
That's
parent,
right.
now my child's going to suddenly start bringing homework home in Spanish? That's an issue we face and a question we face a lot. How would you respond to a parent who were thinking about the program,
That's
but
a
I'm
good
not going to be
question.
able to help them?
It has been a challenge, and we have a lot of parents. And for the first time, actually, one of the parents just told me, you know, when they bring their homework home, it's a foreign language. And I'm like, oh yeah.
I
It is
never
a
think
foreign
about
language.
that.
Yeah.
I
Foreign
don't
language.
speak. I don't speak Spanish fluently.
Uh-huh.
I took 3 years in high school. We didn't speak Spanish at home. I'm half Filipino and half Indian. So we did. A lot of people look at me and think, you know, oh, you
Yeah.
speak Spanish. No, but I took high school and I grew up in California, and I feel like I have, you know, I can get through the homework. But we do have a lot of parents who are struggling, and it's a challenge. Some of them hire tutors
Okay.
to get through it. But what we want to do is really create that support system. So we have
Oh,
our
nice.
parents group.
Okay.
Yeah.
And we're looking at ways, how can we, you know, provide that support for the take home, whether it's like maybe an after school parents homework group, definitely our Yahoo group, you know, maybe a message board where
Right.
people can ask each other questions. And we have one great advantage, which is parents who speak Spanish and English.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
we can learn from each other.
That's
And
what I always
we
tell
wanna
my-
do.
So it's safe to say that the school books are also in Spanish.
That's correct.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Talk a little bit, will you, about the parent group, because I think of this as like our Tesla parent group. Went from 0 to 60 so fast, nobody could believe it. We have a parent group that really in the past year has been organized to an incredible level to support the program. And instead of having 3 separate programs,
Yeah.
to really bring the parents together.
Yeah. Well, so the parents group was created out of the question that came up to the school board. Really, should the program be consolidated? And I think that brought a lot of worry and doubt to the community to say, you know, what's happening with the Spanish Immersion program? And what the parents decided to do is, you know, have a unified voice so that we could come together and say, you know, yeah, the program's at 3 schools, but we all have the same vision for this program. And it's of a strong program where the students do come out biliterate and bilingual, where we see it going to high school where they can get that seal of biliteracy. And the parents group is there to support anyone who has questions about the program. You know, the
Nice.
district is wonderful,
Yeah.
a wonderful resource as well. But we have our Facebook page, we have our Yahoo group, places where people can come and say, you know, what's happening. And we've done a bunch of outreach. We've gone to all of the festivals and fairs that you can imagine. We'll be at the Niles Holiday
Yeah.
Fair
Nice.
the day after Thanksgiving. We're working closely with the Mandarin Immersion Parents Group as well to see how we
You have
can
a
partner.
Mandarin one too?
Yes, we
Why do you
do.
hide all these secrets? He's holding out on us.
Dr. Morris.
Yeah, sorry about that.
So it's Spanish, Mandarin, and is that it?
That's it.
Okay.
That's it.
For now.
For now.
now.
For now.
Okay.
For now.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
can I go back? When your child is in class, they have a Spanish math book and an English math book about the same lesson? Or how does this, I mean, I'm not quite sure how this works. How does that happen?
So it's an immersion program. So the instruction of the classroom in the beginning, if you have an English-only speaking child, for example, they're going to go into the classroom and the primary instruction is going to be in Spanish at the beginning.
So all the books, everything's in Spanish.
That's correct.
Okay.
That's correct.
The model is, right, the model that is taught in Fremont and in many places of immersion is the 90-10 immersion model, where 90% of the instruction is in Spanish in kindergarten. And then as you work your way up through 6th grade, it moves to 50-50, 50% English,
Got
50%
it.
Spanish.
Okay, so as they progress, then, okay.
One thing that we have to mention, I mean, the books are in Spanish, but the homework, when they send the homework to the house, the instructions are in Spanish and English.
In English.
Okay, so the parents have an idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so it
that's
kind
really
of
important.
alleviates some of the issues as far as not being able to understand the foreign language or and vice versa.
Right,
you
because
know?
parents do want to participate,
Yes.
obviously.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that's included in that.
I want to ask one question, is that the problem of finding qualified teachers to teach this program, I'm kind of playing the devil advocate right here. I know for in one instance that right now there's a teacher that's qualified as a dual immersion, but she's teaching only English. So I feel that that's taking resources away from the program and you know, alienating them to another part. So
Yeah.
I don't know how that can be rectified, or if maybe there's some other things going on that I don't know.
Yeah. And no, I mean, I think the point is, and I think the point I would have to agree with is, we really have to do a good job of recruiting the best and the brightest. And you're right, there may be times where a teacher may have that language skill, and they don't tell us about it, right? We may have lots of teachers in the district who have the ability in another language that we may not know about. But secondly, I think, you know, in order to really be successful in this program, you have to have 100% of your heart. Some of the teachers we have, I've just been so impressed to see some of them marching in the 4th of July parade and helping to be at the booth with the parents at the festivals around town and that kind of thing, because it is a huge commitment. And let's face it, it is extra work for the teacher.
It is a lot of work. It is a lot of work.
Yeah.
But I feel that if we have a strong immersion program, I feel that a lot of teachers are going to come out of this program so they can continue this legacy that's going on in the school district here in Fremont.
Does any other school in our neighbor cities have this, or are we the only ones?
There are some immersion programs in
Pleasanton,
in Hayward,
and in San Jose, in
Yeah.
Hayward too.
Yeah, Hayward.
Yeah, we visited some of those schools too to see,
Yeah.
to learn
Yeah.
about the immersion programs there, and I think, you know, that's another thing that the parents group did. You know, you mentioned how we've just been trying to get active, and there's a lot of lessons to learn, because like you said, you know, those programs usually have waiting lists, and so we talked about this being like the best kept secret.
But in Alameda County, only Fremont's doing it, right?
well, Pleasanton's Alameda
Oh, that's
County.
right. That's
And Hayward too.
Yeah,
Oh, Hayward
And
is
Hayward
Alameda?
is Alameda County.
They're Alameda?
I have a nephew that went through that program, and he's,
Okay.
yeah, he's
Nice.
really successful now too.
Nice.
So
That is true about what she was mentioning about the waiting list. I was talking to a friend, and she's like, "Oh yeah, my kids, they go to immersion program." She's like, "Oh, that's what I was thinking, to put my kids on San Jose, but it's a waiting list." And I said, "Well, you don't have to wait. You live here in Fremont.
Yeah.
We have it here in Fremont." She's like, "We do."
Or drive them over. Apply for a
Here's
permit and drive them over.
Because I've been
Wow.
passing flyers. This is going to be my third year that I'm going to go to the preschool with another parents from the Yahoo group.
So you guys kind of mentor the new parents coming into the program? So
Well,
to
that's
speak?
the goal. I mean,
Okay.
we created this group in February.
Really?
yeah,
Just it hasn't. Yeah,
it's not even a year.
It's not even a year.
But,
But-
Yarley's been going outside of even before the group was created to
to
recruit.
the preschools.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Yeah.
What were you going to say?
No, I was going to just reinforce that to say it really is about, talking at the preschools and making sure that parents are aware.
Right,
One of the
And that they have all, I'm sorry to interrupt you, and they have all the information about what to do when they're
Right.
going to go and register the kids for kindergarten. And if they ask some questions at the homeschool and they don't give it to them, then go to they know the 3 schools in Fremont.
Mm-hmm.
They can go straight to the office there and ask how they can transfer the kids or come to the district.
Nice. It's that easy.
And a parent could get information about the program at our Enrollment Center here.
Okay.
They can call Grimmer, Blacow, or Vallejo Mill. And I only did them in that order because that's the order you were sitting in. I wasn't showing any preference. I just got to make sure that I'm clear. But they can call any of the schools. They can contact the school, go on a tour, visit the classrooms. I mean, we have teachers who've said, sure, if parents want to come and see the program in action, I'll welcome them to come into my room and parents can see what's
nice.
happening.
Okay.
Or anybody can go and visit.
Really?
And just say, wow, this is something pretty special.
Okay. And this is elementary through 6th grade?
Elementary
Right
is
now.
through 6th
Kindergarten.
Oh, sorry, yeah, kindergarten through
Kindergarten to
Yeah,
through
but it's
6th
up to
grade.
6th grade.
Yes.
Okay. So if I have a 4th grader and I want them to enroll, they can participate.
Well, the program, because of the way it's designed, right, where 90% of the curriculum is
In
happening in
kindergarten.
in kindergarten,
In kindergarten.
unless they already have both language
Okay.
abilities, and they can test into the program.
They
I
would be
think.
tested.
Okay.
After,
Okay, because that's good
After
to know.
kindergarten
kindergarten
or
and
first?
1st grade, they can register.
Okay.
But when they go to 2nd grade, then they're going to be
They would
tested.
have to be tested in, yes.
Okay.
see.
Now, do you parents have a monthly meeting or?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we do, and we right now, the leaders group, I guess, meets every month
Okay.
to talk about the vision and make sure that we're getting the word out to the rest of the parents about activities and things.
Okay.
And then for this year, we decided to have quarterly meetings
Yeah.
with the whole community.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
So if I'm a parent, I'm just curious, can I come and visit?
Yes,
Okay.
absolutely.
And where do you guys meet?
We rotate.
Okay,
We
so is
rotate
it on your
between the 3
website
schools.
or?
Yeah, so
Okay.
on Fremont SIP at Facebook.
Okay.
So facebook.com/Fremont SIP.
Mm-hmm.
And then we also have an email address where they can reach
Okay.
us. Yeah.
Good. So can you say that Facebook page one more time for our viewing audience?
Yeah. It's facebook.com/Fremont SIP.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Okay, and we're going to put that on the screen for you too. So
Okay.
if any parents watching and they are curious or interested or whatever level they're at, they can contact you guys.
Totally.
Yeah.
I hope we
So-
get more response and get this program
From the community.
going.
So how many students are involved with the program now? Do you know?
So there are probably, I'd say, about 400.
400?
I think
altogether?
it's like 460, 400.
Oh, there you go.
Why am I asking you? All right.
460.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
That's incredible. And is it the same in the Mandarin immersion? Is it about
The
400?
Mandarin program is much smaller
Okay.
because it's only at one school.
Okay.
And the Spanish Immersion program, because it's at 3 schools, has many more students. And it's a program that's been around for a much longer
Okay.
time.
Okay. And in the future, are there other plans or more plans to have more languages involved?
Well, having a program really requires certified teachers who have the
Okay.
bilingual certification.
So it's not an easy thing to do.
It's not an easy thing to do. You have to have bilingual teachers who have the bilingual certification, and you have to have an interested group of parents who are, where you have some students who speak only the target language, Spanish or Mandarin
Whatever.
or another language, and you have to have parents of English-speaking students who are interested,
Okay.
who are English-only students to be
Okay,
in
so you have to
the
have
program.
both.
Yeah, so it's a big commitment on the part of parents. Students benefit by, come out way ahead in the long run, but it is a commitment.
Great. Well, thank you so much for being on the show. This is
you for
so
having us.
interesting. I wish you the best, and I may come by and visit. Who knows?
That'd be great.
But from everyone here at Community Conversations, we appreciate you watching, and we'll see you soon.